Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this virtual fireside chat between McLaren Racing and our inaugural Extreme E partner, Merchants Fleet. Good afternoon everyone, my name is Chris Lawton and I'll be hosting you over the next half an hour or so. I'm very happy to be joined today by Brendan Keegan, CEO of Merchants Fleet, and Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing. Good afternoon gents, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here. Hi Brendan.
Yeah, Zach, great to be here. Looking forward to this. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, good stuff. No, thank you. So the purpose for this call is to provide our viewers with an insight into the partnership, sustainability and electrification goals. Now, McLaren Racing this year will begin a new chapter in our rich and varied motorsport history as we compete in Extreme E. This innovative all-electric off-road series will use racing to promote sustainability and diversity across the globe. The McLaren team will compete in the 5-race global championship, helping to accelerate McLaren Racing's own sustainability and diversity agenda. Merchants Fleet are the fastest growing fleet management company in North America and are the inaugural sponsor of the McLaren team in this innovative new racing series. Zach, I'm going to start with you. What was it about Extreme E and the whole series that kind of grabbed your attention? What's so attractive to McLaren Racing?
Well, first of all, hello, everyone. A lot of activities within Extreme E got us excited. First of all, sustainability. It's critically important to McLaren. I know that'll be a theme for today, as it is very much with Brendan. We like the fact that we're racing in areas that highlight where climate change and climate has been impacted. We love that there's gender equality, male, female racing drivers, racing on an equal platform. We love where it's racing around the world. We're going to visit some places that I don't have any passport stamps. And we love the format, short, exciting, digital format racing, which is obviously fans these days are consuming sports in different ways. So we feel it has a lot of exciting credentials around it.
And absolutely a first for McLaren off-roading rallying.
It was definitely disruptive. I think when we announced it, people didn't see it coming. But, McLaren has always been about innovation, being bold, being brave. And so while on the surface, people thought off-road racing, McLaren, but actually, if you look at some of the racing activities we've done over the years and wanted to be kind of pioneers and lead, it's actually very consistent. It's just a new form of racing.
Brendan, to you, I suppose it's the same question really, but what made Merchants Fleet want to get involved, not just in Extreme E, but particularly with McLaren?
Well, at Merchants Fleet, our vision is to enable the movement of people in goods and services freely and responsibly. And the key word is responsibly. So we're very, very committed to being an ESG purpose-driven organization. Matter of fact, we have a program at the company called Accelerate ESG. And Accelerate really is around how do we accelerate our company? How do we accelerate electrification across North America as a fleet management company? We're really in a unique position to do that. And when it came about the opportunity to partner with McLaren, and we've been, and I'm personally a McLaren fan, and we heard about Extreme E, we really jumped in and we wanted to be a part of that. McLaren Racing has such a global brand, such a strong brand. We wanted to be a part of that. And fundamentally, I think both of our companies, when you take away that we're a fleet company, when you take away McLaren's a racing company, I think there's a lot of similarities in that we're both committed to electrification. We're both committed to equity. I think something that I personally got very much behind was the gender equal motorsport platform. It's the first of its kind. And with the similar sustainability and diversity initiatives between McLaren Racing and ourselves, we just thought it was a natural partnership.
Brendan, just sticking with you actually before I get some more thoughts from Zach on that. Why is ESG such an important area for companies to be focusing their time and their resource?
Yeah, well, when organizations become more purpose-driven, the organization performs better. And that's just proven statistically that they perform better with their employees, they perform better in the world, in their communities, and they also perform better just financially. So, as a fleet management company, for instance, we've actually got ordered 40,000 electric vehicles for our clients. It's $2.5 billion worth of vehicles that we've got ordered, and we're putting those on the road. The impact that those can have on the future of our planet is just tremendous. We look at the financial sector, we look at the global economy and our ability to impact that through bringing more electrification and doing it with some of the world's largest brands that are our clients. Just a very, very unique opportunity. And that's really, as a company focused on ESG, also the gender equality. We're really in fleet in a very male-dominated industry, and we have 5 of our 10 leadership team members are women, and 51% of our leaders across the company are women. So this just really naturally fit, and ESG is just only becoming more and more prevalent as something companies should really look into.
Zach, Brendan alluded to it earlier. Forget the fact that we're talking with a fleet management business and a racing team. Why is sustainability so important to you and to McLaren?
Well, I think sustainability is critically important to the world, and McLaren has a big role to play and contribute. We're always have been on the cutting edge of technology and innovation, and safety is something we developed, the first carbon fiber tubs. So safety, under the sustainability umbrella, if you'd like, are many different verticals. And we think we have knowledge and know-how that we can contribute to governments and other companies, in addition to playing our own role. And as the world has expanded, population has grown, it's clear now that climate and sustainability is an issue, and I think we all have a role to play in it. And I hope not only can we play a small role within the world of what McLaren does, but more importantly, how can we take our R&D efforts, our knowledge and know-how, and share that with the greater world, again, whether that's companies, individuals, countries, or all of the above.
Good stuff. Brendan, coming to you, what are some of Merchant Fleet's goals for helping advance the ESG focus for companies, with fleets across the US?
Yeah, so currently we manage 160,000 fleet vehicles across North America, and we've set 2 core goals. A portion of those vehicles are actually ours that we put on short-term lease. We've made a commitment to make 50% of those electric by 2025. So we're focused on that. We're pretty committed to it. We've got partnerships with some of the best companies in the world in terms of electric vehicles, BrightDrop and Ford, and many others. And then with the fleets that we manage for our clients, where they're their vehicles and we lease them to them, we've made a commitment to 50% of those vehicles to be electric in North America by 2030. So, we think that is going to be one of the fastest ways to drop emissions here in North America. When we think of ESG beyond electrification, we just really think it's essential, it's ethical, it's the right thing to do. And this goes beyond just reducing emissions. According to our research, if you have the ability to become more of an ESG-focused company, you're going to have access to new markets. You're going to have access to investor capital. You're going to have access to employee bases that in the future are going to be really looking to companies that are ESG-focused. As I mentioned earlier, we've locked down 40,000 EVs, which is a tremendous amount. It's a $2.5 billion commitment. And we've got some of the largest clients that are going to be driving these around. Matter of fact, just right before the holidays, in our last mile segment, we rolled out some brand new BrightDrop EV 600s. BrightDrop is a brand new company built by General Motors, with one of the largest shippers across North America. So really focused on advancing our ESG efforts as a company, but as we advance our efforts, it really advances our 3,000 clients across North America.
And it's really great to hear. Zach, how do you feel about the move towards electrification, electric vehicles?
Well, first of all, I think it's great. I drove my first electric vehicle, believe it or not, in the early 90s, when it was kind of a novelty, and now clearly that's the direction the world is traveling. And, we at McLaren, we love new technologies. We love how quickly they advance the road car industry is now becoming very sophisticated around battery technology, and the pace of development is very impressive. We developed the battery for Formula E, which is kind of the sister series, if you'd like, of Extreme E. And so it's an area that we're very comfortable in, that we think we can contribute and develop technologies. And, the world is moving at a very fast pace and getting faster.
It is indeed. Brendan, sorry, Zach, we're just going to shoot back to Brendan. You mentioned that diversity and inclusion is an important part of merchant fleet's ESG policy. Can you share a little bit more? I know you touched on it slightly earlier. Can you share a little bit more about why this is and what steps you've taken, further steps within your business?
Yeah, it's something, it's interesting in the auto business and the fleet business. It's very much a male-dominated industry, and it's been that way since its inception. We have made a conscious effort starting 4 years ago to increase the level of female executives in our company, as well as diverse candidates in our recruiting pool and across our company. To do that, we opened up an innovation center in Chicago. We're headquartered just out of Boston, so to get access to more diverse candidates. But as I mentioned earlier, on our leadership team, we have 10 people, and right now we have 5 female and 5 male, and that's something we're really proud of, kind of leading our industry. It also sets the right example to women across the entire industry that you can become a chief technology officer, you can become the head of marketing, you can become the head of strategic sales, and hopefully that's small things for one company that are sending the right messages to young girls across the country. I mentioned also, 50% of our leaders are female, and that's just something we're really proud of. This past year, we got recognized by one of the universities locally for our diversity and inclusion. And one thing we're actually starting in 22, sometimes you just have to make things up. Sort of like Extreme E was made up with somebody's vision. We're actually creating a diversity in fleet initiative across the entire industry, and we want to lead that for the fleet management industry, not only in the U.S. and North America, but globally. And it really starts with somebody just planting a flag, and I'm really proud that we're going to be the ones planting that, at least here in North America in 22.
Amazing news, Brendan, an amazing initiative. Let's talk about drivers, shall we? Zach, tell us about Emma Gilmore. She'll be a name that's relatively new to a lot of people around the world. What's she like? Why was she the right fit for you in Extreme E?
She's fast.
Yeah.
So, with our racing drivers, whether it's Extreme E or Formula One or IndyCar, criteria number one is we have to think you're the fastest racing driver in the world, or you're in that discipline. I don't care if that's male or female. And so that's qualification number one. Qualification number two is you have to be a great person, a great teammate. The team wants to work with you in the garage, work well with your teammate. Your partners want to be able to work with you, and you need to be a fan favorite, so you need to be a good person. A little bit of the icing on the cake. She's from New Zealand, where our founder, Bruce McLaren, is from. So that, we're kind of country specific. We're a British racing team. We've got Lando, a British racing driver. Those things are kind of nice to haves, but that's kind of the criteria. They got to be a great racing driver. They got to be great to work with. And then if they happen to be from a country that has some sort of relevance, that's nice. But she's going to be awesome, and I expect her to get us some trophies.
And again, changing the game, the first female McLaren racing driver ever. But the fact that she is from New Zealand, as you say, just the icing on the cake.
It's really cool. She came very highly recommended. We've followed her quite a bit. She's won a lot of races. She's a champion. So as you said, maybe not the most famous racing driver in the McLaren lineup today, but let's revisit that in a year.
Sounds good. Okay, Brendan, as Extreme E grows and develops and as audience numbers develop, what impact do you think that Extreme E electric cars have on those who learn more about them?
Well, I think it's going to be multifaceted. I think the first thing is people are going to realize how powerful electric vehicles are. I know we recently had a fleet summit and we had a number of EVs at it, and the response from the executives we had from approximately 50 companies across the U.S. were they didn't realize how powerful electric vehicles were. So I think the first thing it's going to do, it's really going to show people that electrification is here, and it's a great technology. I think the second thing, which is really, really unique, is these races aren't going to be, in areas like Miami or Austin or Silverstone or Abu Dhabi. They're going to be in environmentally challenged areas where it's going to bring visibility to those areas. I know right now I can't make it out to Saudi Arabia in February, but I do plan on coming to Chile. And I think that's going to be a really neat experience where you really get to help the planet and see a particular area. And then the third is the interesting format. It's a digital format, and I think with this, we're gonna create new audiences for the racing platform that maybe don't exist now. And then the entire female angle. Not only has McLaren got Emma as the racer, but the lead engineer is also a female, and I'm an engineer at heart, so that kind of grabbed me as a real leadership position McLaren's taking.
Zach, how do you see Extreme E, impacting sustainability across the wider racing world?
Well, I think it's going to, first of all, it's going to bring a lot of awareness, right? I think awareness now for sustainability is pretty high, but there's still a lot of education that's required. And I think, motor racing is a great way to amplify and tell millions of people of what's going on. So, and where we're racing around the world, climate has been impacted in different ways. So I think the awareness will be outstanding. And then the technology that's being developed. I remember back in the mobile phone when it used to be a bit of a brick that you lugged around, and now they're on your wrist. And I think that's exactly where electrification and battery technology will go. And motor racing has always been a platform for accelerating development of technologies. Again, whether that's for power output, as Brendan said, these cars are fast. I drove an electric vehicle last week in Florida. It's the second fastest vehicle on the road. So these are high performance vehicles. Not all of them, but that technology is there. And so I think, motor racing has always been a way to develop technologies that make it into other parts of our lives. The obvious one is the road car, but there'll be other areas of battery development, cooling, regeneration that will ultimately be applicable to other parts of battery technology around the world. Absolutely.
Brendan, as we begin to wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to add to the conversation?
So Zach, I kind of polled the company in advance of this and asked if they had any questions for you, and I got about 20 in, a few inappropriate, many appropriate.
Ask me the inappropriate one.
We'll start with those.
Well, I think this year's Netflix series is gonna bring out some.
Yeah, it's going to reveal some of them for sure.
Yeah, I believe so. So I'll just keep it really simple. So when you think of McLaren's role in sustainability, you personally, what are you most excited about as Zach? Not as McLaren, but as Zach. What really excites you about it?
I think there's two elements to that. First, learning, and then figuring out when we continue to learn and understand how can we develop and lead. McLaren's always been about leading, being pioneers, leading in innovation, but I think there's still a lot of learning to do. So I'm looking forward to learning, understanding, and then looking at how can we deploy our 900 plus people here at McLaren, men and women from around the world, and help contribute to the innovation. And that's what gets our racing team excited.
Great. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so that's Zach. I suppose after that, any final thoughts from you before we wrap up?
Well, I'm super excited. I'm getting on a plane here shortly, going to Saudi. Really looking forward to our debut event. I'm thrilled to have Merchants Fleet as a partner, having belief in Extreme E and McLaren, and let's hope that we win. That's the goal.
Absolutely. And Brendan, anything from you just before we finish up?
Yeah, well, just to let you know, we're going to have a big watch party back here in the U.S., so we're excited for that. We've got a lot of energy around that. People excited. So go, Emma. You got a lot of people pulling for you around the globe.
Brilliant stuff. Brendan, Zach, thank you so much for joining us today. Very insightful session. And thank you to everybody for joining us. And if you didn't pick up on it beforehand, we will be racing in a couple of weeks' time. I believe it's the 19th of February in Saudi Arabia for the Desert X Prix. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.